In this video, we are going to show you how to create a simple Hello World program using different languages. The languages that we are going to use are Java, C, C++, Python, and Go language. Let's start with the Java language first. The Java language is a class-based, object-oriented programming language. It's a powerful, general-purpose language. Java is used in developing many kinds of software like desktop applications and mobile applications. Now, we will show you how to program a simple Hello World using Java. Every Java application should always start with a class, and it's important for the name of the class to be the same as the file's name. Let's put in the main method inside of the brackets in the class. Every Java application should have a main method. We will put the code that will print the Hello World inside of the main method. To run the Java code, we need to compile it first. After compiling, the Java file turns into a class file. The class file contains the Java bytecode that could be run by a Java virtual machine. If you are interested into learning Java, we wouldn't recommend compiling the code in the command prompt. Learning how to compile using command prompt can be quite hard for beginners. Use an IDE with a compiler will be much easier.
Now, let's move on the C. It's a general-purpose procedural programming language. It was first developed to be used to do system programming for the Unix operating system. Now, it has a multitude of other uses like programming, embedded system, and making desktop application. Let's start programming using C. We are going to use the code block IDE to demonstrate how to program in C. We put in this code. The stdio and h is a header file. It contains some standard input and output functions. Basically, it is a code that allows us to use the code that will print the hello world on the screen. Next one is we put in the main function. Just like in Java C, program also need a main function in order to run. Now we put in the print code. The return 0 code in the bottom of the print statement checks if the program ran correctly and will return a 0 if it does. We also need to compile the C code first in order for it to run. Now you can see a hello world in the program. And the program returned a 0, which means it ran without problems. Let's move on the C++. C++ is a general-purpose programming language.
It is created to be an extension to the C programming language. It is used to create a variety of programs like games, browsers, and banking applications. Let's move on in programming in C++. First, we put in the include code just like in C. But instead of the stdio.h, we put in the IO stream. Just like the stdio.h, IO stream contains the input and output functions. Also, like in C, we also put in the main function. Now, instead of the print function, we put in the count. Then the text and the return 0. Then we compile it to see the results. Now you can see the hello world and the return value, which is 0 in the program. Now let's move on to Python. Python is an interpreted and a general-purpose high-level language. Python's design emphasizes on the code readability, which means it's very easy to understand. It is one of the popular programming languages. It is used in a variety of fields like developing web applications, machine learning, and game development. Now, let's begin programming in Python. We are going to use the command line to code.
First, we call the Python first by typing the py. Now that we are in the Python interpreter, we can immediately code and check the results without needing to compile the code first. To make the interpreter show a hello world, we need to simply write the print and put in the text we want to show. Now, we move on to the GL language. GL is statically typed, open source programming language. It is very similar to C in terms of its syntax. It is used in different fields like system and network programming, video editing, and machine learning. Now, let's start programming in GL. The package main tells the GO compiler that it should compile the code as a executable program. The import FMT is similar to stdio.h and iOS stream in C and C++. It contains basic input and output functions that we will use in the code. We need to put in the main function and put inside the code that will print the hello world. Now that we are done, we need to go to the command prompt to run the code. You need to type in go first, then run, and then the location of the file that contains the code. Now you can see the hello world in the command prompt. If any of these program languages pique your interest, try researching and learning more about them. Thank you for watching.